गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत् ओम गणेशाय नमः ओम सरस्वत्यै नमः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननं वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपराम् ब्रह्मानंदं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिं मात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Hari Om everybody, welcome back. So far we saw that Maya has two powers. Shaktidvayam hi Mayaya Vikshepa Avruti Rupakam. The nature of projecting and veiling. Avarana Shakti covers the real. Vikshepa Shakti of Maya projects the unreal, makes it seem real. It is opposed to knowledge. Jnana Virodhi. Then we studied Srushti, the creation as Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. It is an expression of all names and forms, where in Brahma Rupe, superimposition on Brahman. We saw the example, Abdau Fenadivat. Like the ocean is nothing but water. We see the big bubble, waves, etc. What did we establish through this analysis? We established that existence alone pervades through these names and forms. That's why I'm recapping again. Then we understood what this Maya does. Antar Drg Drshyayor Vedam. What does it do? It veils the distinction between the seer and the seen within. Brahma Sargayoho, distinction between reality and creation outside. I hope you caught that. Avrunoti apara shaktihi sa samsarasya karanam. This is the cause of samsara. Then we saw how this jiva bhava, the notional identity, the delusional identity we have, is created. Sakshina purato bhanam lingam dehena sanyutam chitichhaya samaveshat jivasyat vyavaharikah. See, this reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa, gives sentiency to the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Through the gross body, as a counter, we transact with the world. The problem begins with the sense of doership, kartrutva, a sense of enjoyership, bhoktrutva. Then the samsara has begun. One body to the other body, here, hereafter, ihaloka paraloka gami vyavaharikaha jivaha. He gave us a beautiful definition of what this notional identity is. What I do? I gather new vasanas by doing new karmas, so on. Now this jiva bhava, aropat, due to the superimposition or adhyasa, coupled with ahankara, sakshinaha api avabhasate. It seems as though Sakshi is going through these modifications. Then he said, Avrutautu vinashyatam. So when the veiling is destroyed, Vede bhate, the differences become clear. The notion of finitude, the jiva bhava, goes away. Just like the dream is gone when we wake up. We also saw the example, the sun is clear when the cloud cover is blown away by the wind. Mega paye amshumaniva. Once that avarana is gone, the distinction at the micro level, the jiva bhava goes away. At the macro level, sarga brahmanoscha vedam. The distinction between creation and the reality goes away. So far, are we clear? Now, last week we studied a very important shloka of the text. Let's chant that again. Asti bhati priyam rupam nama chetyamsha panchakam adyatrayam brahma rupam jagadrupam tatodvayam. See, every entity in this world, let's go through this a little more today, has 5 aspects. The first 3 aspects, what are they? Asti, Bhati, Priyam. They are Brahma Rupam. Asti means existence. It is. Bhati means it shines. Priyam is it is dear. Rupam is form. Nama is name and form. Who do they belong to? They belong to the world, Jagat. Because every object, remember, in our analysis we went through last week, it has a capacity to become the object of our love, capacity to give us joy. We understood that Ananda aspect of that bliss aspect is coming from that primordial source. That ultimate reality manifests in every aspect of the creation as what? Sat. Easiness. Bhati. Awareness. And Ananda or bliss, dearness, Priyam. I hope it's clear to you now. What did our Acharya say? They belong to the Brahman, reality. They're real. Tataha Dvayam, the other 2 belong to the world, Jagat Drupam. Let us try to understand one more time. Any object in this world, think about that, we perceive the first aspect of it is existence. It exists. I say this computer here is this, that easiness is the existence aspect of a thing. Then the object is known to exist. I know that this computer exists here. How? Because I am aware. Think about it. Without this awareness, an existence of any object cannot be known. So when we say bhati is shining, means it becomes an object of knowledge. That means it becomes knowable. Because it is illuminated by consciousness. This is Asti, Bhati, Priyam. This Trayam, these 3 belong to the reality, Brahma Rupam. Now the other 2 in Amsha Panchakam, Nama Rupa, the name and form. They belong to the world, Jagat, because they keep on changing. Everything in this world keeps changing. It has an Adi and an Anta. It has a beginning and an end. So what is the problem? The problem is we try to eke out a momentary happiness. We are focused on the external objects of the world. The focus is outside. If the attention is on the name and form, Nama Rupa, the underlying reality continues to remain unknown. I hope you got that. So, what is the key takeaway here? The key takeaway is by knowing these 5 aspects of an object, it will enable us to distinguish between what is real and what is unreal, what is nitya, what is anitya. You know that definition of what is real, what is unreal. This type of inquiry, what it does, it helps us to realize there is only one reality. That asti, bhati, priyam are all one. Nama, rupa, there are many, they are mithya and appearance only. Therefore, we can say in our analysis, oneness alone is appearing as many. And that alone I am. I hope you have caught that. That is where we had stopped last week. Now we will see shloka number 21 today, establishing that unity in diversity. Those of you who are following along in the text, verse number 21, Ka Vagnir Jalor Vishu Devatir Yagnaradishu Abhinna Satchidanandaha Vidyete Rupanamani. Ka Vagnir Jalor Vishu. Ka means space. Brahma, when we say. Vayu, air. Agni is fire. Jala is water. Urvishu, earth. Devatir Tiryak Nara Adishu. In gods or deities, animals, man, and so on, abhinnaha. What is the common factor? What is this? What are the elements that are same? Sat Chit Anandaha. See how beautiful it is? Existence, consciousness, bliss aspect is the common factor. Vidyete. Now, what is the difference? Rupa Namani. Difference is in the name and form. Name and forms differ. So let's take each of these Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 great elements, separately. Space. First one was space. Akasha. Avakasham dadati iti akashaha. It accommodates everybody, everything. So what is the special quality of Akasha? Sound. Similarly, each of these great elements have one special quality. Vayu, air, has a sense of feel, touch. Fire has a form, even color to it. Water has taste to it, has a special quality. Earth has, Prithvi, has a special quality of smell. You know, especially here in the desert in Arizona, you can feel it, especially after so many days of 100 plus degrees. The ground is so dry, and when it rains, you can actually smell Mother Earth, especially this morning. Those of you who are in Arizona, you can smell it. What does that mean? Means names and forms, nama rupa, are a product of Maya. Existence, consciousness, bliss, Sat Chit Ananda is common to all. Now we know how these five great elements, we know from study of Tattva Bodha and other texts, five elements are the root cause of all things and beings in this world. Whether I take this pen or I take this book, what are the common factors? Asti bhati priyam. Easiness, awareness, dearness. See, even the devas like Vayu Bhagavan or Varuna Bhagavan, Surya Bhagavan, Sun God, all of them in their subtle forms are also made of subtle elements. And Sat Chit Ananda Amsha is the common factor. Let's take it further. Tiryak. In the shloka, he says Tiryak. Tiryak means what? Animals. Tiryak means their head, their heart, stomach, sense organs are all in the same level and parallel to the ground. Meaning, their sense organs enjoy the same importance in their life. That is why they are guided by their instinctive behavior. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji, in a text called Viveka Chudamani, says, Jantunam narajanma durlabhamatah umstvam tato viprata tasmat vaidika dharma marga parata vidvatvamasmat param atmanatma vivechanam svanubhavo brahmatmana samsthitihi muktirno shata janma koti sukrutaihi punyair vina labhyate. Jantunam nara janma durlabha mataha. This human birth, this nara janma, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, is very rare indeed. Because there are so many jantus, species. According to our scriptures, there are more than 2.4 million species. From a unicellular amoeba algae, plants, fishes, insects, animals, so many possibilities. Human birth is considered rare. Not because we possess any great physical ability, because the blue whale holds the record for size, or cheetah holds the record for speed. Dogs can hear a wider range of sounds. Snakes, I believe, can see a wider range of colors. So, not because of any of the physical prowess, man is considered the crown jewel of creation. Why? Because his stomach, his heart, head are all placed one above the other. Head being the topmost is the main guiding factor. All other species in this creation, or in living beings in this creation, are pre-programmed to lead their lives mainly guided by instincts. Vedanta points out what? That human beings alone, we are endowed with this faculty of self-awareness, which gives us the unique ability to objectively being aware of our actions, our words, our thoughts, our habits during our intellectual evolution. When I say from Manava to Madhava, that is the evolutionary journey. So human beings alone have this capacity, rare capacity of free will called Purushartha. We can make that choice to steer our intellect in the right direction for appropriate expression. Then there is heart. From an emotional standpoint, we need to have the right or the appropriate level of sympathy, empathy for one another, not to get emotional. We say we should become sensible but not sentimental. The stomach stands for that desire. We know the more we feed, the bigger it gets. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Because we know why these big companies are making these obesity drugs, especially in this country, weight loss drugs. Companies like Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, all are making so much money. Why? Uncontrollable desires, eating. So, what is our key takeaway here? I am of the nature of Sakshi. We established that. Drg Drshya. We established that through Drg Drshya Viveka. That Sakshi is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. And when the veiling is gone, we realize that Brahman is of the nature of this Adhisthana, is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Therefore, you say, I am Brahman, Aham Brahma Asmi. That Mahavakya. So the illuminator of this world is Brahman, is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. I am of the nature of that Sakshi, which is also of Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. And now, at the micro level, what has happened? Because of my avidya, my primordial ignorance of my true nature, what is happening? I am seeing Drshya. So he explained us how to think. Seen are many, seer is one. Remember that. Those slokas went over and over again. That is Sakshi. I see that Sakshi is the illuminator that lends sentiency to my body, sentiency to my mind, sentiency to my intellect to think. So I got this knowledge by coming to these Vedanta classes. This is Shravanam. Our Puja Gurudev used to say, not just listening is Shravanam, but active listening. Because that subtle mind and intellect, that Sukshma Buddhi has become active, that we are aligned with the teachings. I hope you caught that. So, what I have partially understood after Shravanam, what I have partially understood or I have partially misunderstood, I clear those doubts, sandeha, by reflecting on the teachings of these masters. That is mananam. So the reason we are not able to firmly establish ourselves is because of this contradictory notion that comes about called viparita bhavana. It sounds so good. You know, Venkateshji, when I'm in the class, it sounds so good. Thoughts like, thoughts like people say, in this day and age, how much of all this is practical, I don't know. All these come because of our habitual thinking, not just from this janma, because it is deeply ingrained in us for many, many births. So in the next shloka, what he does, he starts us on the topic of meditation. Very popular topic. Shloka number 22. Upekshya nama rupe dve. Upekshya nama rupe dve. Satchidananda tatparah. Satchidananda tatparah. Samadhim sarvada kuryat. Samadhim sarvada kuryat. Hrudaye va athava bahihi. Hrudaye va tava bahihi. See, in the previous verse, we concluded what? That the illuminator of this world, Sakshi, and the substratum of this world, Brahman, is the same from an absolute standpoint. This is Advaita. See, what is our common understanding? The world is inert, the knower is sentient. But now, our understanding is that the illuminator and the cause of this world is the same. That is this consciousness. And on this consciousness, the whole world is being superimposed. With that knowledge, what do I meditate on? Here is giving us the technique. So I meditate on that Sakshi Swarupa, my own true nature, when my eyes are closed. And when my eyes are open and I'm interacting with the world, I meditate on that Brahman, that Brahma Swarupa. Pay very close attention to this verse. It's very profound. How do I do it? Samadhim sarvada kuryat. Do meditation always. That is what he's saying. Samadhim sarvada kuryat. Our Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayanand, has defined meditation in a text called Dhyana Swarupam. Dhyanam nama Swarupasya Sahajam Bhanam Uchyate. He calls it effortless awareness of our true nature. True nature, sahaja, natural, spontaneous. See, nobody taught us how to breathe, how to digest, etc. Natural. He says, if you have to maintain effort, it is called practice of meditation. So coming back to the shloka, Samadhim sarvada kuryat. See, one lady, she asked our Puja Gurudev, how long should I meditate? He said 24 hours. Sarvada, I meditate. So this is the Vedantic meditation. He uses the term samadhi. What is our general understanding of this word? See, when a realized master dies, we say he attained Mahasamadhi. Or we say Jala Samadhi if the body of that master is disposed in the river Ganga. But in the context of practice of dhyana or meditation, samadhi is samahita buddhi, is samadhi. It is simply called as turiya, the fourth. Don't call it the fourth state. The fourth. Mainly to distinguish from the other three. What are the other three? Waking, dream, and deep sleep states. So what is the technique? Upekshya nama rupe dve Satchidananda tatparaha. Upeksha. Being indifferent from the name and form, ignoring the nama rupa, name and form, sat chit ananda tatparaha. Devoted to the truth. Hopelessly devoted to the truth. That is why we say we are focused on infinite goals in life. I want to do this, I want to become this, I want to become that. Infinite goals in life. Tat Tatparaha means making infinity as my only goal in life. Tatparaha is not just my ultimate goal, my only goal. So when my eyes are closed, sitting in a posture for meditation, I meditate on my true nature, that Sakshi Swarupa, that I am. Hrudayeva Athava Bahihi. When the eyes are open, meditating on that Brahman, that Adhisthana, that substratum. Remember, that distinction is gone now. He has explained. After that, meditating on that Brahmaswarupa, withdrawing the attention from the names and forms, not a physical separation, but through an intellectual negation. With a firm understanding that divinity in me is the divinity everywhere. I hope you caught that. I will stop here. We will continue on this topic of Samadhi more next week. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. With that, I'll open it up for our interactive session. So please stay back for your Q&A.